Audio. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you. This is Scott the Hollander.
Okay. Oh, we got you on a cell phone too. Okay. All right. Well, that's the one we need for sure, although we have 4 people on. I don't know who else is on. But, okay, Scott, go ahead and give us a quick rundown. We've got a resolution here for preliminary, and tell us what's going on real quick.
Yes, sir. For this flexibility, I really appreciate the ability to do this. We have a really nice project. It's a very straightforward site plan on lot 2. The house is about 1,700 square feet. It fits really nicely. It's a 2-acre lot. The conventional septic system, the driveway has great access to County Road 8 with excellent site distance, and will connect to the town municipal water. So very straightforward. We've received the comments and the draft resolution and no issues with any of the comments.
Okay. Ron?
No, I think the project forward.
It is.
I don't see any issues of concern.
Okay. Paula?
There's nothing additional.
MRB? Fire? Anybody in the audience? It is a public meeting. Anybody else online? Have any comments? Okay. Tim? Adrian?
I'm good.
Gina? We're all set? Everybody's okay with it. So with that, the applicant has said he's okay with the resolution. Do I have a motion to waive the reading and approve this resolution as presented?
Motion by Tim.
Motion by Tim, seconded by
Adrian?
Adrian. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
DeLucia?
Aye.
Regina Susa? Aye. Adrian Rose?
Aye.
And Heminger?
Aye. Okay, Scott, you got it.
Thank you. We'll see you at final.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, next item up is sketch plan on the McDonald's, complete redo.
Would you like me to stand?
Over at the podium, if you would, because that is where the microphone's at. Turn those on just in case.
These are up on the screen, but I'm just gonna, I have a color rendering, I'll just put it up and
Okay.
help as a visual.
Yeah, I just thought it was a good idea for us to get a quick look at it first, so before you actually get all the paperwork turned in.
Absolutely. All right, good evening, I'm Randy Bebout with Bowler Engineering, here on behalf of McDonald's USA and Tim Potter, the local owner-operator. As you mentioned, the plan is to essentially scrape the site clean and reconstruct it, new building, dumpster enclosure, new pavement, lighting, landscaping, really the whole 9 yards. The layout is very similar to existing. Building is positioned almost in the same spot, a little bit forward. We meet the setback requirements. Circulation is the same. Really the only change in circulation is the layout. Is currently the dual drive-through order points are on the west side, and we're just bringing them to the northeast side.
How far up on the northeast from, I just want them to know.
It's right here at this.
Oh, it's right there, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not coming forward too far.
No, and we're adding a double lane drive-through. So I mean, today it's striped as one lane.
Right.
So we're sort of doubling that capacity, at least on the west side of the building. But the only impact it has is that we will be encouraging cars by signage and striping that come in off of 332 to circulate around the building and to get into the drive-through lane. I know at the PCR meeting we talked about adding signage to encourage people that are heading back this way to come out on the 90 exit versus making the left onto 332, so that we could certainly be agreeable to. We will be providing the, required lighting, benching, sidewalk connection up front. This plan doesn't show it, but, our understanding is the town is gonna require, sidewalk along the frontage here on 332. And we'll just coordinate with that, the town, with any master plan of where that should be. Number of parking spaces proposed is 45. Nowadays, when McDonald's is rebuilding sites, they're providing anywhere from 35 to 45 parking spaces. That's all they need. Drive-through operation, generally speaking, is at least 60% of their business, if not higher. So they don't need a lot of additional parking spaces. Town code here tells us that we need 105 parking spaces. From the very initial plan we did, we ended up changing the footprint. We got a little bit bigger. At one point, we were able to get land bank, just basically show on paper that we could fit all the parking spaces. We're pretty close on that. We really need to take a second look at that to see if we can actually get that to work where if we won't have to build them, so we would never envision having to build them. But there was discussion if we could do that, then maybe we don't need variance.
Okay.
So that's, and then just a comment on the driveways, we aren't proposing any change to either driveway on 96. Showing those basically, staying in kind. In regards to signage, the existing road sign on 332, the existing road sign on 96 are intended to stay. We will have new building signage, new drive-through signage. They'll likely probably end up relocating the canopies and menu boards.
Right.
I think they're still current technology, but new building signs, new directional signs. Dumpster enclosure will be CMU to match the existing building.
And the entrances will be on the other side of the building as opposed to on the east. They'll be on the west and in the front?
So there's an
Yep.
entrance here on the front of the building.
Right.
And
Okay.
we have designated spots for the drive-through, and they have to pull you forward. We have designated spots for mobile order pickup, delivery, PDA spaces, to have that all covered. The actual development area, pavement area is getting a little bit, is being pulled in from the north. Currently, that pavement line is about right here where that dark green is. We are pulling that in. Everything else, we're basically matching back on the west and east side that the existing curb line. Almost to the point that we've had some internal discussions about honestly minimizing disturbance, really ultimately to minimize some costs. It would still look new, but it could be a mill and resurface on parts of this versus reconstructing. We'll see where that goes, but nobody would know the difference. It's still going to be the same general.
Where are the entrances again?
To the building, or
Yeah.
Here on the south side, and then over here on the east. Then there's some service entrances on the side. This is not, well, for all intents and purposes, this is the, what will be constructed, though there's some minor differences on the actual elevations that were submitted to the town. For example, there was a, what they referred to as a brand wall in the back, which this is this darker, material with another sign there. The sign is not reflective of what we're proposing, but it is on, I do have the specific elevations, but I wanted to see sort of the just
Right.
beam, party plank siding, aluminum canopies over the doors, the ethos material up at the top. So this is kind of this is their new program that they're building when they're building. And as far as just touching on stormwater and
Oh, yeah, we need to talk about stormwater.
yep, so stormwater, we've highlighted on this plan where this existing pond is. Here at the PCR meeting, we talked about how this, part of this is over in the other property. We understand we'll have to get some easements in place with the town for that. Currently, there is no storm sewer on the site, everything sheet flows either to the east or the west, the swales along either side. This road sheet flows off to the north, and ultimately everything ends up into this, stormwater pond. It doesn't, we're not sure, we've got to dig into, see if McDonald's has any files. I'd be interested to know if the town has any files, but or based on some of the elevations, it's hard to tell if there's actually an outlet to this thing. Or if it's intended at one point to be an infiltration pond, and maybe it's not working like it should. I'm not really sure. But not really proposing to change any of that, not proposing to change the drainage patterns, just reconstructing what's there. And as far as utilities, we did get some information back from the Farmington Water and Sewer Department. Both water and sewer are located on the south side of 96. There's an existing 1.5-inch service for water. Sewer is, our survey shows a 6-inch line. There was a question about that. Perfect world, we would leave both of those in place and reuse them. We just got to do a little investigation of whether, the condition of the sewer line is good enough to be able to do that, whether an 1.5 inch is large enough. We wouldn't have sprinklers in the building. It doesn't exceed the occupancy requirement. So we might be able to leave both of those.
That's a good overview.
Yeah, and then we'll have new lights, dark sky compliant lights, new landscaping. I know we've talked about the PRC. There is some existing mature trees on the east side towards the front that we would either like to trim up or remove some just to open up some visibility. Yeah, with that, I can answer any more or any questions.
Sure, we'll turn it over to staff, and we'll get around to us. Ron?
Yeah, first of all, maybe thank you and McDonald's for your letter of support for the town's grant application for the infrastructure improvement there on 96 sewer. We're not opposed to an area versus parking. Figure out how to improve the parking area reservation and make it for heating and whatnot. As far as stormwater goes, I can recall being filed back a number of years ago when proposing new signs and just the maintenance of the stormwater between you and the adjacent property. Also, that is something I'll leave to Lance to talk about. The only other thing is stressing the importance of trying to redirect traffic out to 96, down to 332, and use the light turns. Try and judge the speed of idiots driving the intersection. Those are just unreal. They are aware of the sidewalk requirement along 332. They are aware of the street lighting requirements. Street lighting is one of the issues that we've had neighbors, residents identified to us of concern. Trying to figure out how to incorporate that into the. And the other thing I can say is, a friend of mine is practicing for all symptoms for your for a station. And work as fast as you know.
Yeah, and I did talk to the Tim Potter today, just a couple things. So yes, when this store, gets closed, employees will be transferred, distributed out to other, he owns Manchester, he owns Canandaigua, he owns Victor, so they'll keep them gainfully employed. And then hours, shared that they're currently, 5 to 1 AM, it's not 24-hour operation.
All right.
He's not proposing any change to that at this point in time. Yeah, and then just as far as schedule, this is scheduled for 2029, construction start. We're here today to get, McDonald's likes to get projects in the queue, so if 3 others drop out, maybe they can convince, the owner operator.
Good. Okay, anything else, Ron? Paula? Lance?
So first, stormwater. So, because this is considered a redevelopment, that's the type of application that we're looking at.
Yes.
As part of what DEC is looking for. So with stormwater, they basically measure whether or not improvements are required on 2 types of measurements. One is acres of disturbance, so anything over 1 acre triggers a need for us to begin looking into it further.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is increase of impervious surface. So in this one, they're not increasing that impervious surface, at least as shown.
As shown. They're actually decreasing, as shown.
So the thought process is most likely, until I get an application, I won't truly, that they may not be required for the DEC standards to do any additional improvements for their site for stormwater. Doesn't mean that the town can't require them to do improvements to the existing facility.
Right.
I'll get into that. That's the measurement of whether or not additional improvements are needed. We know that the town will require a stormwater easement for the town.
Right.
To be placed over it, and that will give the town access for emergency purposes. The town will also likely require a stormwater maintenance agreement to be provided. Most likely we don't currently have one, even though it was anticipated to always be privately owned and maintained. We'll get that as part of this improvement. As mentioned earlier, if a portion of that facility, or whatever it may be, transverses off into another property, the town's going to encourage that it needs to be provided so that you have the ability, or McDonald's has the ability, to maintain the entire facility, not contingent on it. So that's as shown. Here's where it gets fun. But the parking, if we increase parking to meet today's standards, there's your increase in impervious surface.
Correct.
That's gonna trigger a need to do some type of water quality. So any plan that gets proposed and then ultimately approved by this board shows an increase, we're gonna have to require stormwater improvements to be shown to match those increases. Well,
You're saying even if it's land bank, we would still have to
Yes.
design
because
for that?
in theory, you would have the right, or McDonald's would have the right to build that out.
At any
some
time.
point in time. So it might be worthwhile to at least think about alternatives, variants or not.
Yeah,
Are
I
there.
would definitely say that's how we would want to
Right.
go. And I think we're gonna be at zoning board anyways for signage, for building signage, so.
And I think the parking, I think it's pretty well known. I think it's relatively old school approach.
Yeah.
That most communities have now, and there's much more efficient, way to look at that. So either way, that's up to you and the applicant, but I wanted to put it out there that
Okay.
if we received a plan that shows the land bank parking, you're likely gonna get the request from us to show stormwater improvement to handle that. Well, that's the stormwater.
Makes sense. Fire, anything?
East side, you're gonna have parking on the building and the other side, with the 2 lanes to go drive through.
No parking against the building.
So just in case. How high is the height gonna stay the same?
Like 18 foot, 10 inches.
So it's about roughly
Yeah.
what it is now? Okay. All right, so you take 18, divide that in half, another 9, so that's 27 feet. That's the wall collapse, goes down. Okay? Our trucks need to be that distance away, set up. Our ladder truck, which has 4 legs, 2 on each side to go out another 4 foot, as the width of the truck. building doesn't collapse on that and take the truck out and whoever's on it, needs to have room for that. So, right
You're not
now-
gonna- you're
right
gonna-
now it's tight.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to get it in there. With that kind of separation, I don't see how you can do it.
Well, I understand, I mean, my knowledge is that if a building is taller than 30 feet, then we have to have a 26-foot lane to get the jacks or the feet out, whatever you call it. I've never heard,
National standard is height of building plus half is a safe zone. That's national NFPA. I do believe that's what it is. That's what we go by. Height of building's probably good enough, plus a few extra feet. But the problem is, what I'm worried about is when we set those legs out on our 100-foot ladder, and the wall does come down, I take the truck out and whoever's operating it. A regular pumper, there's no problem.
Will you need a ladder truck in there for an 18-foot high building?
If you're gonna get on the roof and the back line is locked up, yeah. We've done it before, but we used the ladder to get up there
Okay.
because, we couldn't get a key.
Right.
They couldn't find a key, to get up there. It doesn't always happen, no. I'm just saying, we need, with the cars parked the way they are now,
Oh.
it's far enough away that we can get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Putting legs out is what the hard part is, especially if they're spreading both sides. A pumper, not a problem. I mean, we can park that anywhere. I mean, we can even we can go past the building and backtrack too. That also happens. But it all depends where the fire is in the building, and what part of the roof we can get up on top of. Okay? I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is you need to think about, we have people going up on this building that's on fire,
Right.
and my job is to make sure they come out there safely.
Right. So it's good for staff, make sure we get the plans over to the fire department when we do get them in officially, so that they can review and give us those comments to say yay or nay on
Yeah.
whether or not you're gonna be able to do what you need to
We
do.
have a smaller ladder truck now that will work,
Mm-hmm.
it is, but that's always at the other end of town.
Yeah,
Not gonna be the first one in.
right. Right.
It's just my thoughts.
I can see you parking out on 96 and doing most of it from out there anyway.
Well,
To be honest with you, just because if there's cars there or anything else,
yeah, with
Yeah.
100 foot is quite a ways, but
yeah,
you still need solid level. Okay.
I
right,
mean, there definitely would be room along this, back, hold on.
yeah,
Screen, but, the northernmost drive lane, which is
and you could get to
50
the
feet
back.
away from the building, if not more.
That's where we'd probably locate it.
Yeah.
But
Because then you could come in, I mean, even if you came in, I don't, what, I'm saying if you came in off of 332, you're kind of a straight shot to park right there and set up.
But unfortunately, sometimes Candego beats us in, because when we get a working structure, Candego comes in, Vicar comes in, sometimes because they're volunteer and they're paid, they get here before we do, and sometimes placement is not always what we
Right.
would like.
Well, you mean, make sure that they get a good review of it when we get it
Yeah,
in.
we need a good.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, cool. Anything from the public? Okay, anything online? Anybody online want to talk about this? Okay. Tim?
Yeah, a couple questions. For the entrance exit onto 332, are you gonna consider signage and maybe some small island curbing to encourage right turn only?
Right in, right out?
No. Time is to leave it as it.
Okay, I would think that would,
Yeah, right in, right out would get
yeah.
people torqued off trying to get up there because they're so used to going out and going up on 332. But it is a safer way to do it. It's something to consider anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it,
DOT would probably have a say, right? Would DOT have a say on that, or no?
we've submitted this plan to DOT.
Yeah.
and,
They don't have any problems with it. They didn't have a problem with, Indus project up there with Taco Bell and all that. They're not gonna have a problem with this.
Yeah, but they're just,
Yeah.
I would think a minimum of right turn only signage would be appropriate for that. Encourage people.
Yeah, I don't know that we're opposed to putting a sign up, but our intent is to not
Right.
change any physical, our intent is to leave it as it is, but putting the sign up is fine. I'll have to run that by McDonald's, but I don't see a problem.
Okay, anything else? Adrian?
so, do you know how many spots are at the McDonald's right now for parking though? On the old plan, like, is it
I should
roughly?
have that,
It's okay, I mean, it's
I'm
not
gonna,
like, I know you're going less, but.
I'm gonna guess
it's less.
50?
Yeah, it's,
Well, you're gonna be less here than what you got now.
Yeah, you want
somewhere in
45
the same
now.
neighborhood, but it's probably.
And then the only other thing was, what's the stacking on the drive-throughs there before it hits the front of the building by 96? Do we know, like?
Yeah, we're gonna wanna know that
Like, 'cause
number.
I feel like,
10, 12, 14, I mean, there's probably 14 to, where at the end of the concrete drive-through lane.
so like 7 each lane, you're saying?
Yes. So, yeah, it's around 14, I mean, and then there's another,
So you're gonna get roughly 20 in there or so before you end up on 96.
yeah, I was gonna say, there's another half, I mean, probably could get another 4
Yeah.
cars.
You're gonna want, huh?
Really gonna want.
If they're past that concrete drive-through lane, not gonna stand here and tell you it'll never happen, because I'm telling you that operationally, they're not doing what they do.
Just
Setup.
make sure part of your presentation or part of your data that you give us is what is the number of queue to get to 96?
Yep.
I mean, just
'Cause
so we know.
I'm worried that, I know there's 14 right there, let's say, and it could be, you got room for more, and I think that's, you're probably safe, but, I mean, I don't know if anybody's gone by Dunkin' Donut ever and see that thing's way out by 332 almost, like, we don't need this backing out on 96.
I know.
Like, so,
And that's just 14 from the order point. There's another.
Right,
I get,
So
and,
it's a pretty good, you know, it's a good.
But that goes from the 2 order point down into 1, because it's gotta go along the edge of the building to
Right.
get to the pickup.
Yeah, there's probably another 6 cars minimum.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I just, that would
we
be.
just need the numbers.
Yes, yep,
My
Give us numbers of like what's going through now.
yes.
Yeah, that would probably help, because, I mean, we kind
Current
of know.
conditions, we can
Yeah.
estimate what.
And my only other one was the driveways, and you said DOT was okay with them?
Yes.
Okay, Regina? Okay, a couple things from me. You're gonna need to show us land bank parking for this. Just show us where it would be.
Based on what Land's talking about, we're not gonna wanna show Land. We're not gonna wanna design stormwater for
I understand that.
60 more parking spaces.
Then you're definitely gonna have to get a variance.
Yeah, I think we're fine with that.
Well, I'm gonna give you my philosophy,
Okay, yeah.
whether you want it or not. But remember that theoretically, this will not always be a McDonald's. It may get sold off to something else, heaven forbid what it is, and that parking may be required. That's why we tend to require showing what that total build-out of parking would be in case there's a change of use in the future. Now, will McDonald's get replaced by something else? In my lifetime, probably not. But that's the philosophy we tend to work on, to make sure that future uses still have the ability on that property to have the parking that's needed. So you can go for a variance. If they grant it, they grant it. It is what it is, but that is an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem we have a plan, actually, I have it with me.
Yeah, but like Lance said, once you show it to us and that becomes part of the plan, now you gotta turn around and do, because that's what we'll approve, now you gotta turn around and do more stormwater. You're gonna have to provide access to it as it is, at least. You're gonna have to provide, easements to get to the neighbors, from the neighbor for that as it is. But even at that, I still think we're gonna have to review the pond at least to make sure it's functioning right, well, aren't we?
So I think you could, through the review process, we can request additional information. You know, verifying the pond and providing like a survey of it back to the town, as we've done on other projects. Aldi, for example, has some.
Right. Yeah, because I don't think it's really a pond, I think it's just more of a wetland back there.
It looks like it's.
Does it look like a pond?
It's like a catch basin.
Okay,
It looks like, I mean,
A catch basin.
and I guess when you ask about whether it's functioning, the only thing I would ask is, I don't know if there's any history of it overtopping.
well, and there's nothing, if it's overtopping and going north or west, then we'll never know it, because there's nothing there. To be honest with you, till they build into the north and to the west, we'll never know. But, so yeah, it is what it is. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one is if you do land bank, okay, do the calculation of green space after the land banking. Because I would almost guess that if you go ahead and land bank the full 105 slots, you may not be able to meet the percentage of green space required. So that might be part of the reason too, to make sure that maybe you get a variance because of that.
Yeah, I guess what I was thinking on the part, my thought process was, we could provide this board with an exhibit that shows what could be built, but if the requirement's gonna be that we've got to find stormwater for that, we're gonna wanna go get it.
Correct. But if they turn you down and you have to show it, then you're going to show us the percentage of green space after the build out of that. It's something that some people forget to do, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, you got all green, but if you had to build it all out, now you're below the green space requirements, and now you gotta get another variance. So, it's just the way it is. Access to stormwater, number of vehicles in the queue to get to 96. I think that's all I had. Anybody got anything else? Okay, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it. We look forward to the final or official stuff on the project and get moving on it.
Great, thank you.
What kind of seeker are we gonna do, Ron, on this one? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, number 3 is, partial letter of credit for Farmbrook subdivision, track section 7A, 7B. Everything tied up good on that one?
No, it's not,
Oh,
it's not good.
tied up but loosely.
Take a look for future release.
Okay, so we're not doing that one tonight. Okay, no other actions, open discussions, Ron.
Okay, first of all, the
Thank you very much, by the way.
county did submit a infrastructure grant application. Converting of sewer
Right,
through the, Route 96.
right. So we're competing with other towns, their submissions.
Well, letters of support.
Nice.
Of course,
Yeah,
Fearless Racing and Gaming, they are going to go ahead with plans to expand over there. They need reassurance that sewer is not going to be a hindrance to that. They also think we have a strong application that follows the regional economic development strategies.
good.
New energy active at the fish, solar park.
Yes, mm-hmm.
They submitted a document, Vance and I finally been able to get through that. And that we were meeting with Cory Clark from New Energy Equity next Wednesday morning.
Yep,
You're gonna be there,
planning to.
try to see what we've got, what we need. they will be moving that forward. Our house solar site, we received communication today
Saw that.
that, that's about the site, so we'll be responding to that.
And, you know, that's one of those, if we're gonna leave the 96 entrance onto that, it's got to be able to have a fire truck or something go across it, because it's my concern, they're gonna have to build it to town standards so we can get in there. If they build a backward way, it's a hell of a lot easier for them to get in there.
February 20th is the end of the coordinated review for Farmington Meadows.
Mm-hmm.
We received a detailed report from the on that, which before we, there's also staff comments coming, draft resolution. Likely, we will be continuing meeting on March 4th. Whether we start meeting third type, start 2 and 3, or if we really make a determination. Gotta check that out.
I'd like to see him get us something from RJ&E too on power. Because I think the last time he said he has talked to him, but I don't think he had gotten the approval on power yet.
Today we met with the applicant who constructed the flex buildings there on 332.
Right.
And, this proposing something similar to that on the opposite side of 332, Gateway Drive, combination of flex buildings and interesting concept of commercial on the first floor and apartments on the second and third floor. Question amongst staff to the applicants today. They be coming to you, concept discussion in March.
Okay.
Yes. I'll also wait to see what you.
Yeah, I glanced at it today online, and my biggest issue is gonna be parking, you know that. We're gonna have, what, 18, 26 apartments and 32 parking spots. It doesn't sound very acceptable to me, as you know me and parking. So just thought I'd share.
Hey, bridges for brain injury.
Yes, where are they at?
All right. Hey, Bill Davis from MRV, Aaron Bissell, and Suter, Peter and I met with Laura and discussed it. And we tried to encourage her to consider something alternative to the package treatment plant on site. Costs that not only to construct it, land area needed for it, also the ongoing maintenance. Something that he suggested some alternatives, which she was very grateful for, and she's going to move forward with talking to Farmington engineering about.
Good.
One of the options that was thrown out there is maybe having a storage facility on site, be empty. The other one was low pressure sanitary sewer, and they needed that. The FedEx Landing project would have their sewer treatment plant in, and we could maybe come up with money right away for the railroad. Connecting to that very easily.
Yeah.
There's a number of options out there they're studying. Fire station number 2, we have a fire grant application pending that we commented on. We expect that they will be here before you in March. Any hearings on that?
Then that's when we'll start the seeker, right?
Or is-
We already started seeker, okay. I was not sure we did.
Yeah, we did. We started the secret.
Okay. Must have been the first meeting in this, yeah, whenever.
30-day process. The staff is looking at a number of alternatives for some other amendments to the zoning code. Documents need to be, chapter 1, back online,
Mm-hmm.
subdivision regulations. Did help. Nothing for today is a friendly legal issues. We look at stuff. It would be nice if we could get it. It will be board meeting next week to add on it. Fisher Associates got the license from the DOT to prepare this document.
Hmm.
And going out to bid for that project. Like to have the bypass case. Will be an update to the zoning map coming shortly here to catch up with some of the rezonings. Vince can talk about that. Met today with Tom Lyons from the county committee. Municipalities on their park and rec programs. I gave them a copy of the sidewalk trail master plan map. Talked to them. Either site there, just west of the town park. The Hops Market, Angelo Gracio,
Mm.
kind enough to submit a letter of support. He's looking nation of take this up. For that. Pleasure construction project is that's down ops report. The steel is going up on those two buildings. Things are moving along like rapidly. So that's basically the 14 items that I have.
Good. I'm glad you found something to keep you busy.
Latest one is trying to figure out how we can get funding for making the repairs to the intersection of Hortensia and 96 for getting fences,
Oh,
crossing,
yeah. Cool.
the entrance.
Good. Paula?
Just, yeah, piggyback off Ron just a little bit, the flex space doing the, concept meeting. First meeting in March with you, and likely PRC the day after. Farmington Meadows is on for the first meeting in March. We also have, application for, County Road 8 for, preliminary site plan for single family home.
Right. I saw that today, too.
In the department, yesterday was Heilman's last day, construction inspector. And Hayden has a medical procedure the first week of
So you're it. You can handle it.
county.
I'm telling you, it rains, it pours. Anything else? Okay, Lance.
Don't have anything to add to what was already discussed. I didn't hear what Ron said about Lance talking about, so,
So, yeah.
I'm sorry, Matt. The town currently has a 2021 version that's been signed.
Mm-hmm.
We've done several updates in 2023, all the way up to 2025. Fortunately, that isn't been signed yet. So I'm working with town staff to verify that we're okay with that, and then either A, reproduce it as a 2025 and then sign. We have an updated official version. There are obviously several projects that have been going through that are in the process of meeting or potentially getting approval that would then trigger an update to the map. I think it'd be appropriate for the town to have an official updated zoning map. Doesn't really require us to do anything to it other than signing it and then waiting for those other projects.
No, no, you have to just file it with the state, that's about it? Yeah, okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Fire, anything else? Public, anything? Okay, board. Adrian?
I'm good.
I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket. Regina? Okay, and I'm good too, so, with that, have a motion to adjourn by Adrian, seconded by Regina, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right, thank you.